They've already made it clear they want to leave, but here's where things get a little tricky. You gotta pick between the two girls. You can't date both of them. Do you want to go to the Big Ten or do you want to go to the SEC? Woo! Man, oh man, it's Thursday. Can y'all believe it? I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it feels like this week has been flying by. I hope each and every single one of you have had a great week up until this point, and if not, I hope this video can make it a little bit better. In today's video, we have some interesting stuff to talk about. We got not one, not two, not three, but 4 topics to go over. It's been a while since I've said this on the video. We got a jam-packed one. Now, although we are talking about 4 topics, they're not big topics. It's a bunch of small ones. But I would say the main topic without any single doubt in my mind are the missing puzzle pieces. I know what you're sitting there saying. Yo, Matt, what are you talking about missing puzzle pieces? What's going on? Well, my friend, that's a great question, and you're going to see exactly what I'm referring to in this video. We got a lot to get over. I don't got time to waste. You don't got time to waste. All right, Matt, blah, blah, shut the crap up. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, before we get to the college football stuff, I think I just got one of the biggest compliments of my life. Somebody on the recent video said, and I don't know if they meant this as an insult, but I'm taking it as a compliment because this is the best thing anybody can say about you. Somebody said, does Matt remind anyone else of Boomhauer from King of the Hill? Hey man, say man, Boomhauer, man. I tell you what, that's the best compliment any man can receive. I wish, and I hope one day, I could amount to the man that Boomhauer is. That guy's a legend. But on a serious note, man, we gotta talk about college football, man. Let's get back into it, man. First things first, I gotta bring this up, or more so I gotta address this because I'm tired of seeing it all over social media. I saw it all throughout the offseason. I'm tired of it. And that's no other than all these social media accounts and just everybody hyping up Joe Milton's arm strength. As you can see right here in a recent interview, it's been stated that he can throw the football 90 plus yards. I've said it before, I'm going to say it again, and I can't emphasize this enough. Throwing the ball far isn't even the biggest deal in the world when it comes to the quarterback position. I'm sorry, it's not. How many balls are you going to throw all season long that go 60 plus yards? Maybe 4, maybe 5? Being a great quarterback at the high school, collegiate, NFL level, and it's been proven time after time, is judged off of how good you can complete the 5, 10, and 15-yard passes. That's it. If you can complete the 40-yard passes just half of the time, that's great. That's okay. You'll live with it. But it goes back to this. How many passes a game are you going to throw that goes 40 yards in the air? Maybe 2, maybe 3. The rest of the game, it's about dinking and diming your way down the field. I'm just so sick and beyond tired of people hyping up his arm strength. We get it. He can throw the ball far. Here's the real question. Can he be accurate? Because I'll tell you this much. Joe Milton isn't even as close to being as accurate as Hendon Hooker was. Hendon Hooker was on a completely different level. I'm not saying Milton isn't good. I think he's a good quarterback and he can be great, but we'll just have to wait and see. Let's just calm down a little bit with the Milton arm strength height. That's all I'm saying. I didn't want to address that, but moving along here to our second topic, and the second, third, and fourth topic, it all ties in hand, and that's why I'm putting it in the video. But SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey, we all know who Sankey is, the best commissioner in college football. He stated, quote unquote, we don't need to be in 4 time zones to generate interest on the West Coast. What do y'all think about that? My apologies. Let me give you some context to the situation for those of you that don't know what he's referring to. Pretty much over the past couple of weeks or so, we've been talking about how, hey, the Big Ten, this is a great thing by them adding all those 4 teams in the Pac-12 on the West Coast because now they're going to be playing in different time zones. That's going to help them generate more revenue, and they may have 4 game slots instead of 3 like the SEC. Because the SEC plays at 11, 2:30, and either 6 or 7. But now in the Big Ten, they got teams playing in a completely different time zone. And that's what Greg Sankey is referring to in this quote. He's like, hey, it doesn't matter. People are going to watch the SEC regardless. We don't need teams out west. And as much as you may hate the SEC, you know he's right. A large majority of the people that watch Alabama and watch Georgia play are people that are rooting against them. They want them to lose. Say what you want. I'm not going to read you off this entire article and everything he said because it's as simple as this. He's right. 100% right. You can hate the SEC or you can love the SEC, but at the end of the day, you're still going to watch. Piggybacking off of what Greg Sankey said, moving along here to our third topic, here's what Nick Saban had to say about the conference realignment stuff. Quote unquote, I think we're in a time of evolution for whatever reason, and some of those traditions are going to get sort of pushed by the wayside, I think, and it's sad. We've talked about this a little bit already, but I did want to throw it in there because it goes hand in hand with what we're talking about. As old school as Nick Saban is, he'd tell you this in a heartbeat. Change, it's inevitable. It's not something that we just want to happen, it needs to happen. I believe change is a good thing, and it was only a matter of time before college football it changed. Yeah, it does suck that we're going to miss out on some of those rival matchup and traditions, but It had to happen. You can't stay stagnant in this life. And I think a main reason this happened is because people are saying college football is not competitive all the time. And when you think about it from a competitive standpoint, in competitive games, it brings in more viewers, and big time matchups, it brings in more viewers. Bringing these teams from the West Coast to the Big Ten, that's going to help the game tremendously. You can't sit up here and try to tell me that less people are going to tune in when USC and the little bro Ohio State are playing. Let me ask you a genuine question. Do you believe that more people are going to watch USC versus Arizona State or USC versus Michigan, Penn State, or the little bro Ohio State? Which one? For me at least, I think the answer's simple. USC and whoever or whatever Big Ten team they're playing. Yes, we're going to lose some traditions, but I think this is overall great for the sport. I do. If you think otherwise and you believe otherwise with all this realignment stuff going on, I completely understand your argument. We're all grown-ups on this channel. We can agree to disagree, and I'll leave it at that. Whoa. Hold on. Did somebody say realignment? I think they did. Speaking of realignment, moving along here to our fourth topic, which is the main topic of the main encore, the main reason you clicked onto this video, we got to talk about it. So with the Pac-12 disintegrating and all the big and major teams already finding a new conference, whether that's the Big 12 or Pac-12, and now Texas and Oklahoma, they're in the SEC, there's really only two schools left and two major schools left in all of this. And that is no other, and I think some of you know where I'm about to go with this, Florida State, the Seminoles, and Clemson. I would say those are the two biggest brands and two best programs left on the market. And also, these are the two biggest brands that have made it clear and evident they won't out. They are eventually going to leave. When they're going to leave, we don't know that, but they want to. They're just in that crappy granted rights deal, and we already know what that is. If you don't know, go watch some of the previous videos. I'm not explaining it again. Well, here's what I find really interesting, and please, let me know in the comment section. Where do you think Florida State and Clemson are eventually going to wind up? You don't got to be a rocket scientist to figure this out, the basic fundamentals. Clemson and Florida State, they won't out, and they either want to go to A, the SEC, or B, the Big Ten. They've already made it clear they want to leave, but here's where things get a little tricky. You got to pick between the two girls. You can't date both of them. Do you want to go to the Big Ten, or do you want to go to the SEC? And we also need to look at it from this standpoint. How much does the SEC or the Big Ten even want them? Because we all know this, if you've been in a relationship, you don't want to date somebody that's not as interested in you as you are in them. To me, at least, here's my take on it. Who do I think Clemson and Florida State fit in with the best? Well, most definitely the SEC. I don't even have to hesitate with that answer. From a regional standpoint, it works out. From a conference standpoint, I think they're great teams, great programs. Put them in the SEC, it'd be fine. Similar to Texas and Oklahoma. They fit in great. Let me put it this way. Clemson and Florida State, they feel like SEC schools. They recruit like SEC schools. They're in the Southeastern Conference. They got good football programs. Everything aligns. However, they have shown interest in the Big Ten, and the interest has also been showed back. And I do think they'd be fine in the Big Ten. I think they'd thrive. It wouldn't change too much. But I just don't see that being as great as a fit. And I'm extremely curious. Let me know your thoughts down below. Where do you think Florida State and Clemson should go? Not where you believe they're going to wind up, but where do you think they should go? I believe they should go to the SEC, but at this point in time, I think they're going to wind up at the Big Ten. Like I said, this isn't going to happen soon. You're not going to hear any news on this probably in the next couple of years, but whenever it does happen, I think they'll wind up in the Big Ten. At least that is the feeling and vibe I'm getting right now. Because the Big Ten is making an aggressive approach to just trying to take over all of college football. They want teams on the West. They want teams on the West. They want teams everywhere. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, I could talk about this all day, but I think Clemson and Florida State, they are the last piece. They are like the infinity stone. Whenever they join a new conference, that's going to be the last really big thing that happens, at least for realignment. I understand there's still going to be talks about Miami, North Carolina, and possibly Virginia, but I don't think that's as big a deal as it is with Florida State and Clemson. I want to make this a short and sweet video. Let me know your thoughts down below, but